Hello, everybody. Ah! I got bigger. I was small, and then I've grown. Also, hi, everybody, and welcome to episode 3 of Ghostly God. Wait, it is 3, right?
Yes.
Okay, yes. Welcome to episode 3 of Ghostly Gossips. Tonight, we are going to be kind of changing things up from the norm.
Well, the norm that we set.
Yeah, the norm of the, just talking about buildings. We're adding Reddit stories. And, God damn it, threw me off my game with what they said.
So what places are we checking out today?
Yes. Today, we are doing the Kells Irish Pub. Crystal Ballroom. I said that right. Ballroom?
Yes.
Okay, enough getting sidetracked. And Hobo's Restaurant and Lounge. Honestly, I kind of want to go to that place. I looked at their menu. It looks good. And then Sarah's got some Reddit stories for us. I can't read Reddit stories. I end up reading.
Barely read these stories.
Yeah, they're in the ad break. I sat and read the same line over about 4 or 5 times before I realized I was doing that. So yeah. But we're gonna start off with Kells Irish Pub.
Well, there's something important else that's important.
Wait, what else?
Did we even introduce ourselves? Because this is a podcast, so they should know who's talking.
You know what? Good point. I am still getting used to this podcast stuff. I'm Derpy. And this is Sarah, my co-host.
Hello, I'm Sarah.
Also the one keeping me in line.
Well, as far as we know, I'm the one without ADHD, so that makes sense.
You don't have ADHD?
Yes. To get a little personal, as far as every test that I've taken has said, including from therapists, it's a no.
I had to retake a test for ADHD, and my therapist said, "Yeah, you have it's extreme."
Yeah, now my therapist just thinks I might have bipolar.
I don't like my therapist.
Anyway,
She
this
wants
is
me
not
on
the topic of.
She wants me on medication.
This is not the topic of the podcast, so we should probably proceed to whichever the first one you want to read.
No, it'd be Kells Irish Pub. I have never been inside there, but I've seen it from the outside, and it actually looks pretty nice inside. Do I want to go there? Hell yeah. I kind of want to try their alcohol. That, and I'm kind of curious about these haunted stuff these reports that people have experienced. But, yeah, no. Kells Irish Pub is located on Southwest 2nd Avenue in Portland, Oregon. And, well, it's got some, pretty dark history going on, along with the, all dealing with the Shanghai tunnels, which it's just loaded with dark history, and I'm really looking forward to doing that podcast. building was also used as a mortuary at one point, before becoming a pub. Okay, wait. Whoa, wait. Do people know about that?
About what?
The building being used as a mortuary. Why would you want to go and eat at a place that was a mortuary? There was dead bodies in there at one point.
Well, due to the fact that it's connected to Shanghai tunnels, there's probably dead bodies there already.
You know what? Fair point. Though, the hauntings here are a little bit hard. Like, not many reports have happened for these hauntings. They're very... A lot of, like, one of the main ones, which is pretty common with any of the basements that are connected to the Shanghai tunnels, is where people are hearing whispers, footsteps, and seeing shadowy figures. That's pretty normal when it comes to anything in the basement in Portland, because they're most likely connected to the Shanghai tunnels, which do show up here. People have been, people are thinking that it's people who've been kidnapped and smuggled into the tunnels. Yeah. Honestly, I kind of want to go there now.
Into the tunnels?
Yes!
You described them as very dangerous in the past, and I'm just like,
I have,
let's hope
but...
he makes it out.
Yeah, yes, I have. And you know what? I'm a thrill seeker.
Yes, it has become very obvious.
Yes, that's why I play scary games. But, I don't know, like, I think it's more than just the tunnels that are causing that, especially if it has connections to a morgue. Where else would you store the bodies? Like, the best place would be in the basement. The best place would do all the mortuary stuff in the basement. Why would you want to do that on the ground level? That's just weird.
I mean, the only reason you do it in mortuaries at the ground level is because there is no basement, if I remember
Exactly.
correctly.
You know what? I don't know. I'll have to stream it sometime and we'll find out. I know there's a shed that I never got to because I couldn't make it past the first night without crying.
I remember that.
But now you've all seen Disney, right? I'd hope so, at least.
Yes.
You know the mirror.
Isn't that specifically Snow White?
Is it? I don't know. I've never really been a big fan of, like, the princesses growing up. I was more of a fan of, like, Fox and the Hound and all that.
I've never actually seen Snow White, or I have, and just don't remember it.
But yeah.
But I know
but
at the very least, the magic mirror is.
It's definitely in Shrek. Yes, the magic. So apparently, if there is a mirror in the pub that if you go to and go mirror, mirror on the wall, apparently the mirror will answer back and you'll see a shadowy figure in the reflection of the mirror right behind you, even though there is nobody else in the room with you. Now, whether it's just tricks of the light or your overactive imagination, we don't know. That's just something you're gonna have to try out yourself if you guys ever go to visit that. I'm definitely gonna try it.
Obviously.
Of course, like, why not?
You know, actually, a fun fact about the mirror, mirror on the wall thing.
What?
That's not the actual quote from the movie.
No, it's not. don't remember the actual quote.
I think it's magic mirror on the wall.
Magic mirror on the wall. Who is the fairest of them all? You know what? Mirror, mirror on the wall sounds so much better.
Yeah, that's why it's changed to that in the common lexicon of everyone who thinks they've watched that show or movie. Plus, also, I think that's what they say in Shrek. And Shrek is a way more recent movie.
Do they? I do not remember. I'm gonna have to rewatch Shrek now to find this out. You know what? Tune into the Discord server. I'll let you guys know when I decide to watch Shrek again.
Yeah, apparently there's gonna be a Shrek watch party.
I don't know how. Every place has got it where you can't stream it. On Discord.
I own the movie.
Oh, nice. But, now. This next one. I like this next one. This brings me back memories of Phasmophobia, real life, other games where things can be thrown at this pub, apparently for no reason at all. Just alcohol glasses just getting yeeted across the building and shattering. I honestly think that right there alone is something I definitely want to see. Apparently, the bartender is used to seeing it, which means it apparently happens often enough for the bartender to be used to it. So who knows? Maybe if you go there in the evening, you might run into one of those experiences.
Of course, you also have to go there before you move.
You know what? Fair enough, but that's like a while down the road. I've got plenty of time. Also, I guess apparently throughout the building, it's either got some serious heating problems and electrical problems, which would honestly make sense, considering how old the building is.
Yeah,
I mean,
the building next to the Shanghai tunnels is kind of old.
Let's be honest, yeah, like 1800, 1900s, yeah, it's kind of old, let's be honest. But apparently people have reported, like, the lights flickering for no reason, feeling cold spots, especially near, like, staircases and all that. I mean, some of the staff have even, like, reported, like, the feeling of being pushed down the stairs, which I actually know that feeling, because I grew up in a house where it felt like you were being pushed down the stairs. And then, of course, the shadows that people tend to see. Apparently, people have reported seeing them up top, where the bar and all that is. So, and many of this stuff, people are not sure. It could be the Shanghai tunnels. It could be the fact that it used to be a mortuary. What do you think? I think it's both.
I think since I partially do play the aspect of the skeptic on this podcast, just me, the stories reinforcing everybody's preconceived biases for the place.
You know what? Fair enough, but I mean, any thrill seeker would love to go to a place that's got haunted stories. Let's be honest here, unless they're scared of ghosts. But yeah, no. Apparently, they have an annual event also there during St. Patrick's Day. Actually, that kind of makes sense. It's an Irish pub. That makes sense. So who knows? If you go there during then, you might experience something. definitely want to go. Wait, I gotta get a group together to go, though. I'm not going alone. If things are being thrown, we all know how that goes for me. The objects get thrown right at me.
Yeah, it's the entire reason you mostly play multiplayer horror games.
Yes. We all saw what happened when I played a single player horror game.
Very recently.
Fuck that game. Yeah, now we're going to pass the torch along to Sarah, who's going to do some Reddit stories.
Well, I'm first going to start with one that is. I'm not going to credit the.
Is it a bad name?
For any, I'm just not going to credit them for anything. You can look up their name, the names, the titles yourself if you want to, but it's mostly just so that I don't encourage anyone to dogpile the specific users from these stories.
Never.
Someone believes that these stories are so fake that they should be believed.
Yeah, no,
You are?
guys. We do not condone that kind of stuff.
Yes, we are very anti-bullying.
Unless if it's
Very
towards me.
anti-hate. Yeah.
Because y'all seem to love bullying me. And again, I make it easy.
Yeah. Anyway, this first one has the title of Hearing My Name. The person says that they were in their bathroom.
Sorry, couldn't help it. I couldn't help it. The title just
Shaking my
made me
head at
wanna
you,
do it.
Drippy.
The title made me do it.
The person said they were in their bathroom last night with like the ceiling fan in it. Basically, I imagine it's one of those like fans that's supposed to suck out the
You smell the air.
yeah, the smelly air. And they said the ceiling fan was pretty loud,
Mm-hmm.
and it was almost time to go to bed. That they say in the story, and they say they heard their partner call out their name from outside the door.
Sarah.
And the person said they'd be right out. Because they couldn't really hear anything else besides the name from what was said over the fan. That's why the fans brought up in the story. Once they were done taking a shit,
Sarah.
no, they didn't hear the name again. They left the bathroom and asked their partner. And apparently the partner was in the living room the whole time and never asked the person's name. And at the end of this, the person does ask, am I in trouble because I answered whatever called my name?
I'd say yes. You know, a lot of people don't realize how powerful a name actually is. I mean, there's stories about fairies stealing names for power. You sell your soul to a demon, which is kind of like your name.
What type of ghost do you think would be the one that would call out my name?
Oh, but that one? Definitely a prankster type. May not be like evil or benevolent, but definitely one that likes to pull prey. Actually, I don't know. I don't know any of that do. Do you? Because my first instinct is Jin, but to elicit fear. Dun, dun, dun. Sarah. Maybe it's me.
Yeah, maybe you're haunting this person. Anyway, there's no other comments about
I can't think of any.
stories from you. Or
I can't think of any. I just have fun just saying your name.
Yes, you are. Yeah, if there's no more comments from you or the chat, because the chat, you can.
Yeah, you guys can make comments
about any of these stories.
No, they're just slapping the table right now.
But yeah, since, doesn't
That's
seem like
about
there's any. I wish I could bonk you.
I'll behave for now.
I'll believe that way.
You shouldn't trust that.
Next one title is One Explain This Because I Don't Want to.
Yeah, I can explain it. Kells. There we go. Story over.
Yeah, apparently this is written a little weird, so I've got to rewrite it in my head. When they turned down a turn in the sidewalk they were walking probably.
Yes.
And then they pointed out a weird light in the middle of the road. And they couldn't really see that well, and they took a photo of it. Their phone shut off and turned back on. The photo was blurry.
It was me.
And then was blurry. Visit me again. They had any why would you get this photo?
You know, let's say this. There is one of two things are going to happen. If that were to happen to me. Wait, first off, was there somebody with them?
Yeah.
Did they see it
they
also?
Had their friend. Yes. It seems like the friend was the one who took the photo.
Okay. So, if both of us saw it, my first instinct is to nope the shit out of there and kind of go like how they did in the SAO at Bridge. We never talk about it again. It never happened. And delete any form of evidence. No photo.
It's a no photo. Like they post a link to where the photo supposedly is, but it says that there's nothing. Like the photo itself that was posted there was deleted by something.
How old is the story?
About 9 days.
I bet you they got called out. Nah, it probably, to be honest with you, this is probably made up. Talk show.
That this Ghostly Gossips episode 4, even though it's episode 3.
Well, oh shit. Okay, well, apparently my music was up too loud. There we go. Why didn't anyone tell me? There's the scuff.
Because I wasn't listening to the music, and
I just got a DM for it.
he's in the
Okay, I think I got it.
audience.
Man, it's a good thing the Twitch side it won't save it, so they'll save the music. I don't think.
Hello.
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 Shit. It saved the
But yes,
music.
I do have a story. This pretty much happened a few years back. I want to say 2007, 2006, give or take.
Oh, okay.
This was when I was living in Fontana. I was in my bedroom alone, and I keep hearing my name being called multiple times. I would go and ask my family, like, if they called me, and they would say, like, no, we never called you. I'm like, okay. Went back to my room doing the same thing as usual, like playing with my Legos and whatnot. And again, I would hear my name being called, and I'll be like getting frustrated. Like, they said no, they didn't call me, and I went out there like, what the hell? You guys said you didn't call me, and here you guys are again calling me. What do you guys want? Like, same thing, nothing. They never called me. I'm like, okay, whatever. I'm just gonna ignore it. Later on that night, as I'm getting ready to go to sleep, I would feel like if someone was blowing on my left eye while I'm sleeping. And I have my bedroom to myself. It would go on every single night. My eye being blown onto. And as weeks went by, it finally stopped. Until, like, I want to say the very next month, all of a sudden it happens again. And this time it's my right eye that's being blown on as I'm sleeping.
That's
So
interesting.
interesting and creepy, definitely.
Yeah, and I was like, what the hell's going on? At first, I was like, when it first happened with my left eye, I was about to yell at my sister. But then I realized, oh, wait, I have my bedroom to myself. She has the freaking RV in the backyard.
Did you have a window open at all?
No, both my windows were closed.
Any fan?
I have an AC, but that sucker's been deactivated. Not deactivated. It hasn't been working in a long time.
Well, I'm at a loss.
And my fan has been off too. I always keep my
Wait.
fan off.
Do you have any pets?
Or
They're
did you have any pets?
mostly dogs, but they're with my sister.
Okay, yeah, I'm out of ideas. That's definitely Scott. That's actually how you got it.
The creepier part to me isn't the name calling; it's the breathing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the creepier part. Is the breathing? Like, oh god.
And
Like,
go ahead.
Granted, I've like had feelings of like it felt like something was touching me before, especially while I'm streaming.
Yeah.
But
Like, I'm like puzzled. Like, what? Like, who? It felt like if you were to grab your straw from your drink and blow on your hand with it, it felt like that.
it was me.
Yeah, it's always Derpy.
It is a derpy playing a prank on you in the middle of the night.
And I would like always rub my eye like to like make it stop, and it'll still continue. And then I would hear stories after me and my family have moved out that that another family would come in, and all hell breaks loose, like cabinet doors opening, stuff being thrown around, and I'm like, that's never happened to me and my family when we lived there. Only except for the fact that my eye kept getting blown on. So why all now like activity kicks up when we move out?
Hmm. It either seems like the ghost hated the new people who moved in, or the ghost liked your family.
I guess.
You know, ghosts are extremely picky about who they allow into their building. So, yes,
And I would even hear stories from my neighbors that live in the neighborhood that the house was owned by a woman who would supposedly do like witchcraft, whatever, and in my bedroom was a pentagram, and I'm like, I don't believe that. There's no way. There would have been evidence if when we removed the carpet.
no, it depends if it was painted or not.
True.
If it was painted, there wouldn't be any evidence if they sanded it. If it was carved in, then there would be.
Yeah, because my stepdad tore out the carpet when we first moved in and put in new carpet. We would have automatically seen it. Unless it was before we moved in, then that's a different story.
Okay. Yeah, no, definitely some scary stuff.
Yeah. And obviously, what I must ask from Derpy,
What?
whenever
do
we
it.
hear a one of these stories, what kind of ghost do you think caused all of this?
It was me. It was me.
Besides
all along.
you.
Okay.
There was nothing being thrown. It was just touching. Can't really say poltergeist type.
You also have to take into account what Spartan
It's not
said
a-
happened after they moved
Wait, what?
out.
What happened after they moved out again?
Cabinet doors being opened, stuff being thrown after a new family moved in to the old house.
Demonic. The poltergeist doesn't. Poltergeist would be active no matter who moves in, because they get their strength through fear. Demonic can actually definitely pick favorites and be like, yeah, no, I like you, so I'm not going to torture you. But be like to somebody else, I fucking hate you. I'm going to make your life miserable. Damn it, I got called out.
Shaking my head at you, Derpy. How could you get called out?
I don't know. I didn't do it. Oh, got any more stories?
No, that was pretty much it.
No. What about you, Sarah? Do you have any experiences?
No, actually, I literally told my one ghost story that I can remember on the first episode.
You know what? Fair enough. For me, I mean, shoot, this is a reoccurring thing for me. Every time I go into where the guess it would be considered the family room, I see a giant like black shadow just staring me down and out of the corner of my eyes.
Oh, I know. Actually, I do remember another ghost story. This is the apartment that I'm currently in right now. Um, this was 2012, January 19, after my grandfather had passed away.
13 years ago.
I was in my mom's room with her and her now ex-boyfriend, and I like the bedroom door was cracked open. No one was in the living room. We were all watching TV. In the corner of my eye, like as I'm watching the TV, like I see something like appearing through the crack of the door, and I would look. I'm like super tired. I don't know if it's real or not, but as I continued looking at it a second time, it became more clearer, and I'm like, oh shit, I'm seeing my grandpa's face.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, okay, I think that's going to be it for the ghost stories for now. We're going to run an ad break. And we'll be right back after the ad break. Thank you for joining us, though, Spartan.
You're welcome.
Yep, thank you.
Wait, which is the button? Ah, there it is. Shoot. Alrighty. How do I'm gonna move you out of the stage once I figure out how to. I don't know how to.
Spartan could move herself out the stage by pressing the leave stage button.
All right, bye.
Alright. Have a good one, Spartan.
Bye.
Thank you for joining.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no. So, alright. Now I gotta go and read. I got like 2 minutes to read this over.
Okay.
This one's much shorter, so I can do it.
Yeah, I'll read one of the longer stories for the Reddit one.
Alright. It is okay, yeah. It is doing ad break.
Yeah. No. If this gets big enough, it's gonna be weird when we have to read actual ad breaks. We get sponsors.
I'm all for it, as long as I have full creative control. Hey, David's back. Gother's back. Cutie Patootie is back.
Cutie Patootie?
Oh, no, that's just what I'm calling him.
Ah.
It's just one person. Giving them lots and lots and lots of hearts and love for everybody in stream. I think I got enough. There may be extras for the others. I don't know how many people's watching because I don't care. Ooh. I definitely want to go to this place.
When is it? Hobo or
No, the Crystal Ballroom.
Ah.
This place is yeah. You gotta share now, Gother. You can split it with Spartan. Gother.
Gother. Share.
Damn, 1914. Good news. So I got some good news for everybody. This building right here, the Crystal Ballroom, is not connected to the Shanghai tunnels.
I think on average you in the last 2 episodes you included at least one building that isn't connected.
They did a couple.
At least one building.
Fair enough. Yeah, but yeah, no. The Crystal Ballroom. It is a venue in Portland, Oregon. Also, yeah, we're still in Portland, Oregon. We're going to be in Portland, Oregon for the rest of this. When it comes to the buildings. But this is located on West Burnside Street and was built in I wouldn't say built in 1914. They opened their doors in 1914. And I am not even going to try to pronounce that name. Okay. Yeah, over the decades, it became a hub for dancing, concert, and social gatherings Nowadays, they kind of host, like, major events there where they do, like, ballroom dancing and all that, and they'll have some concerts there.
I wonder who they've had there.
You know what? That is a good question. Let me go find out. I know the Portland Timbers have been there, which is their Portland sports soccer team. To the Crystal.
Yeah. Soccer. Or as the British say, football.
I'm going to see who's been there. And okay. Notable people is what we need to search. That didn't help any at all. That made it worse.
I looked it up myself, and I don't recognize any of these names as anything that anyone would
Names.
like, yeah, that's something.
What are the names?
Well, supposedly, let's see if why did I even... So Blondie has played at it.
Blondie? Really? You don't know who Blondie is?
In my head, I said, I don't know who this is. And then when I looked them up, I know who this is. I've heard their songs.
Welcome back. I was about to say, you should know who Blondie is. May not know a lot of their songs, but they are pretty popular and famous. Well, I don't know if they still are. I haven't heard anything from them in a while. Are they even still around?
Alive?
Yeah. Yes, and they're still actively performing.
It doesn't say they've shut down. Actually...
Wow. That's good to know. I didn't know they were still... I probably doubt they're making, like, new music. They're probably doing concerts of their older music, though. But yeah, no, Blondie has been there, I guess.
Yeah, and another one is INXS, Australian rock band.
Man, they seem to really like holding a lot of rock concerts. And again, it is a very nice place. I've been outside there. Haven't been inside because they keep security there. And I don't feel like getting in trouble. Yet.
Obviously, that's your response.
If I get in trouble, I lose my job. But yeah, no. So, now, why it's haunted? Mostly, there's no like really notable events that happen there. Like no mass killings or murders or fires or anything that would cause loss of life. But the place has definitely had a lot of joyful energy and throughout its ages. Like, I mean, who doesn't love concerts? Let's be honest here. The place was very popular during the 20s. During the swing era.
I must admit something because you said, who doesn't love concerts? I actually do not like concerts.
What? Actually, no. You know what?
No.
I understand. There are too many people.
Yeah, also, legitimately, I have a sound sensitivity issue.
Oh, I definitely do not. Unless you count certain sounds that people do when they're sick.
Mine's more volume than anything.
Yeah. But yeah, no, people have reported hearing disembodied voices and footsteps throughout the ballroom late at night. Dang. No, I want to do security for them. I mean, people have reported the elevator moving on its own. Like, damn. I'm sorry, but I want to be in the elevator when it does that. I'm going to have to call my boss and be like, hey, Angie, I'm going to go work for the Crystal Ballroom. I'm sorry.
I don't think she'll be pleased with that.
You can always work with me. It's haunted. Anything's better than where we're currently at. But yeah, no, but if you're in there when it moves on its own, apparently it feels like there's somebody in there with you. Ooh. Oh, God. Yeah, this is definitely like all like spiritual hauntings. This ain't no like, this is just energy, like from spiritual energy haunting. I mean, people have also reported like in the areas where they do all the concerts, hearing music, the shuffling of dancing, and loud noises as if there's actually a concert going on almost, but much quieter than a concert. Like,
yeah, it's definitely remnant energy and all.
Yeah, that is definitely like remnant energy from the good times, because whether people know it or not, buildings can retain good energy or bad energy if it's had a dark history. And not all haunted places are bad. Like, I mean, shoot. Actually, I think the worst one about this one is the elevator. Just imagine you get to the first floor, all right? And then it decides to have a mind of its own and it goes all the way up to the top floor.
Yeah, that would creep me the fuck out.
You know, I wouldn't be so much creeped out. I'd be more irritated. It's like, you couldn't have waited until I got off.
Yeah.
That would have been my response to that. I don't know. Would you want to go there?
Possibly. I still enjoy some concerts, but it's got to be a band I really, really like. Okay, I like more than just like
3 Days Grace.
maybe.
Well, holy shit! I was just throwing a random one out there.
It would have to be definitely one that I like most of their catalog for.
Oh, fair enough. All right, Maroon 5.
I don't know if I've listened to more than a couple Maroon 5 songs.
Really? I've listened to almost every single one of their songs. I love all their music. Like, I'm still trying to figure out how they haven't been number one.
Yeah, like the ones that I've actually listened to are Moves Like Jagger, Payphone, and probably
Sugar.
another one that I just can't remember.
Sugar? That's another popular one.
Probably. I have strangely enough heard more of Imagine Dragons songs than I have Maroon 5. Probably.
Oh, that's not surprising. Actually, no. I've heard more Maroon 5 songs than I have Imagine Dragon songs.
Yeah, and I'm not even like a huge fan of Imagine Dragons. It's just like Imagine Dragons songs are in a lot of stuff.
They really are.
Yeah. A notable recent one for Imagine Dragons is Arcane.
I may not know that one. I don't think I know that one.
Do you know League of Legends?
I know of it, and that's about it.
Arcane is the animated show based on specifically the places known as Piltover.
I'm
and
not gonna hate
Vaughn
you,
in the
Gother.
setting.
I'll have to look at the song. I'm not gonna watch Arcade. I don't like anything League of Legends.
It's very good because you don't need to know anything about League of Legends.
Well, I guess I'm gonna go and pass the torch on to you now. That was about all the information I had on the Crystal Ballroom. Those hauntings that are good, like that, don't usually have a whole lot going on. Unlike this next one.
Yeah. So, this one's going to be a little long because it is
Sarah.
I wish redeems were enabled. Anyway, it's a long story because it very much is one of those stories that people write out on Reddit that is slightly overly detailed about it, leading you to think that it's possibly one of those fake stories, but also the setting is believable enough that this could just be someone being very detailed about an account in their youth.
I'll be the judge if it's fake or not.
Yeah, the title is The White Witch. They said that this happened in the early 80s and they lived in Okinawa, Japan.
Why does that title sound familiar?
I don't know. But yeah.
Well, I'm ready.
Okay. OP says, my dad thought that seeing the world would be an adventure that would help my brother and I become better men. And I have to say, I think he was right. Being in the military showed me cultures many would never get to experience, and I am thankful for every experience that life gave to me. Even
English isn't his first language, is it?
This also could be me reading it, but also, I don't know. It seem like they would be English first language if they're in the military and going to Okinawa, which there's a base in Okinawa.
True. You got hit that.
Yeah. They say, while we lived in Japan, my father wanted us to have a fully immersive experience, so he chose to move us into a small Japanese neighborhood off base. We lived in a little house at the top of an enormous hill in a cul-de-sac that overlooked...
No, not breakable.
And he says, I kid you not, part of a huge zoo, and on the other side, a fairly large cemetery. Our particular house was set far above the monkey habitats, about a mile downhill. Between us and those habitats was nothing but thick Indiana Jones style jungle that neighborhood kids and I would tromp through endlessly, ignoring the local warnings about poisonous snakes and ancient untripped mines from World War II. I'm just like, wait, did they actually mine up
Japan?
Okinawa during World War II?
Do we actually step foot into Okinawa during World War II?
Yeah, I don't know.
I know we dropped bombs. Wait, no, it was not.
Firebombed entire cities.
Yeah, it's like I know we bombed. You're messing up my head. My head is permanently squished. But no, I don't think we ever stepped foot in, like, we physically stepped foot in Japan.
Oh, I just looked it up. It actually makes sense that it would be landmines in Okinawa specifically.
Why?
So this person, it's because Operation Downfall. We invaded and captured Okinawa, apparently.
Oh, yeah. Never mind. Brain fart. Yeah, I think we had a statue placed there for the fallen. Was it that, or was I thinking of a different island?
I can't remember.
My brain is clearly not working when it comes to history today.
Yes. Well, my brain wasn't working that well either for history.
You know how long it's been since I've had to actually think about history? But go on with the story.
15 years? Okay, now on with the story. We were the only American family living in the cul-de-sac, completely surrounded by Japanese families. It was amazing. The kids loved us, and although we couldn't communicate through language very well, we understood each other perfectly well most of the time. It's perfectly well, most of the time. And I'm just like, I really doubt that. They probably was like, oh, run over there? Understood.
I mean, I wouldn't know. I wasn't alive back then.
You weren't alive back in the 80s?
No cap. I was like totally born in the 90s, but early 90s.
Man, I was
for real.
Born in no cap, for real. I was born in the late 90s, technically. Even though I think people would categorize me as being born in the mid 90s.
But yeah,
that's only if you split it up into 3 sections instead of 2. 96.
you're on that border of whether you're Gen Z or not.
Yeah. Anyway, back to the story.
No.
What?
Every 20, I think they're doing generations every 20 years now, because Gen Alpha started this year.
Oh, Generation Beta started this year.
No, Beta, yeah, Beta. So 05 was Alpha.
Is that every 10 years?
Is it? Huh? Yeah, because that doesn't make sense. Because 05 is definitely Z.
Though also generations are getting more close together.
True. Great, you're now a Gen Z. Just so that way you have the free reign to use the cringe.
Yes. Anyway, for real, let's get back to the story. Opposite of the family was an older couple with a lush garden surrounding their property. The older woman wanted us to call her Mama-san, and she had us helping her garden whenever she could coax us with green tea and chocolate/banana cookies. We loved her.
I know this story.
Really?
Keep going. For real. I know this story.
She was
going.
so welcoming and generous, as was everyone else, actually. We lived in a wonderful neighborhood. The only drawback to Mama-san's house, however, was that it directly overlooked the cemetery, and the cemetery was unlike any cemetery I had ever seen before. So, I already draw something in question about this story. Why would the older woman want the kids to call her Mama-san? And the only reason I really am like, there's a problem with that. It should be Mama-sama. Unless this older woman was weird.
You see, the
Also-
thing is these are most likely American kids that she's doing that with. And they wouldn't know the difference between San and Sama. She probably did it to make it easier for the kids.
Probably.
But the fact that she was willing to do that, props. Still weird, though. And why mama and not, like, the actual Japanese word for mom? Because it's a...
Yeah.
Actually, you know what? No. Mama-san, it would work better.
So, on to more of the story that apparently you've heard before.
I have. I heard it in a YouTube video.
Because Okinawa is an island, burials don't happen very often. Instead, above ground crypts are built, many of them built into the sides of the hill that make up the island, the hills. The crypts are large, made of huge arches of polished stone set over a large square of that stone, which has a square insert cut into the middle of it for the coffin to be placed inside. Once inside the square is inset another piece of polished stone just inside, leaving a kind of shelf on the outside. So offerings could be made to lost loved ones. Yen, food, flowers, incense,
Aww.
are some of the many offerings that are given.
When
Below
I
Mama
die-
San's house. Yeah.
When I die, I want that.
Yes, we'll set up a derpy shrine.
Yes. Enshrine me. Give me offerings of food. Yummy food. And then tell the local people that I am a god. So I can obtain godly powers in my afterlife.
Yes.
That's how it works, right?
Sometimes yes. Depending on the mythology of godhood. Below Mama San's house was a valley that swooped back up into another hill opposite her house. That valley and both hills were covered with these crypts and spider webbing. Up and down through the crypts were various stone step pathways that were old and badly maintained. It was quite a sight.
I don't have
Now
anything
we
witty to say.
Well, there's not much witty to say right now. It's very much describing the area, so that people get a vision of what the story is going to be. One evening, Mama-san asked me to come visit with her alone. I find that incredibly sus.
Yeah, that is sus. Holy fuck. Why wouldn't Now, for any children who are watching, if an adult that is not your parents asks you to come to a place alone, do not do it. Doesn't matter how much you trust them. Do not do it.
Yes. And now she said she had something to show me, but it was only for me as the older brother, says the OP.
You see, this gets even worse.
Yeah.
Like, I know how the story goes, but I was passively listening to it. I wasn't listening to it in this level of detail.
Yeah. When I originally skimmed this, I wasn't paying this much attention. This is very sus, and not the story itself on its real or not level. It's what the fuck? How did this happen?
I know, right? Like, why? Alright, continue. I gotta know more.
The OP felt intrigued and a bit proud, so they agreed. She took them to the back of her garden and sat him on a thick wooden bench that was carved with scenes of fishermen and men with swords. And she told me she had a story to tell. Mama-san then disappeared for a few minutes and returned with a tray that held hot green tea and sweet rice cakes. She sat beside him and smiled at him and commented on the colors of the evening sky as the sun began to lower.
Okay. I'm getting nervous.
Mama-san said she had seen me, my brother, and some of the other kids daring each other to follow a stairway down into the cemetery. You have to understand, the path from our little home area down to the cemetery consisted of hundreds of steps, many broken or cracking, in and out of bushes, and at a steep incline. It would be dangerous for anyone, but the real test was seeing how long could take walking through the crypts at night. Mama-san wanted to explain why that was a bad idea.
Okay.
Yeah, this is definitely getting creepier.
It is.
And it still seems like it could fully be both real
and fake. We'll know soon. Something tells me the ending will give it away.
Many years ago during the war, okay, obviously the only war that's happened in any recent time on Japanese soil, okay, World War II.
Yeah.
Americans were thought to be devils, monsters that would murder innocent citizens for no reason other than to kill.
Yeah.
That fear was the product of wartime propaganda used to encourage young men to join military service and farmers to fight alongside them. But many didn't. Many ran, and with nowhere to go, nowhere to hide, hundreds of Japanese citizens hurled themselves off a cliffside rather than face torture at the hands of their perceived enemy. And the next line very much cements the, yeah, I'd act the exact same fucking way as a kid. The OP says, I was terrified at hearing this.
I mean, anyone should be terrified of hearing that. Like, yeah, no, like back that, like, shoot, some towns would go as far as like they were prepared to take all their own lives, including their children's lives, if the American army were to invade Japan. So yeah, those all because of Japan's propaganda.
Yeah. It's also just the next line totally states how kind of young this kid is, and also just how little America really teaches about some of the stuff that aren't just we fought and won the war, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Because the next line states, I had no idea this happened. I was mortified, and with such sadness, I started to cry. The sun was setting, and the sky went from pink and blue to a deep orange and red. Mama-san reached out and held my hand, telling me not to worry. This was all in the past, and the past is something we must always remember, so we never go back.
Mm-hmm.
She went on with the story. One young woman had followed through with this sacrifice with her 2 children, but she survived the fall. She was in a coma for months. When she did regain consciousness, she was horrified to realize she was not with her children. They had been buried somewhere in that cemetery below in an unmarked crypt that held many others. The woman would spend days and nights searching the cemetery, crying in pain, the torment of her loss unbearable, until the day she threw herself into the ocean to hopefully be reunited with her lost family. But they say she never found her children, and her act of suicide doomed her to purgatory. She would remain tortured for eternity.
Mm-hmm. Pretty common rhetoric for that.
The sun had disappeared, the cemetery drowned in inky blackness. The main path dotted with dim, broken lights, feebly illuminating small areas. Mama-san continued. She still wanders the cemetery, she said, looking for her kids. You can hear her crying. And then she pointed down. I didn't want to, but I did, so I looked. In the back of the cemetery, in the darkness, there was a white figure. At first, a bright white shimmer, moving slowly, kind of shaking. It moved from side to side, like it was moving among the crypts, and you could actually hear the crying. Softly at first, but then low moans and whimpers of pain as it got closer. I was terrified. I wanted to run, but Mama-san held my hand and whispered that she wouldn't come up here. We were too far. But that is why we shouldn't go down there after dark. She said many don't know her story and call her the White Witch, which angers her. It's best to stay away. It's best to pray for her. Mama-san said she comes out to see her often, hoping one day she will find her salvation.
Oh, God. Ugh. Man,
Man, that's not even the end.
that's not the end.
There's like a paragraph in the sentence more. Needless
Continue
to
on.
say, I never went down to that cemetery, not once, and I never sat back there with Mama-san again either. That was enough for me. I did, however, visit Suicide Hill. It's called Peace Prayer Park now, out of respect. Which I'm just like, yeah, that's a
Yep.
way better name.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It doesn't-
Way better name. Suicide Hill. Like, oh god. It's just like Suicide Forest. It's like,
The OP said, I cried the whole time we were there at Peace Prayer Park. I prayed for all the souls and for forgiveness. So many Japanese citizens spoke to us, welcoming us, telling us stories, sharing with us. I didn't feel worthy, and my love for the country and its people was overwhelming. I've never forgotten my time there. I'd like to go back to see if she's still there. Wandering the graves looking for her children.
I want to go.
Yeah, I want to go also, but also this very much seems, from the ending alone, like it's fake. Just like the story itself.
The issue is he's recalling this from memory. And as a child, when you're a child, your brain can come up with some very scary things for you to see when that's not really there.
Yeah.
But like what he saw could have been a real event that he saw, but it's one of those things like, ooh. Like, I want to believe him, but at the same time, I also want to go there myself and see if this is real.
Yeah. But yeah, like, one of the reasons I'm just like, I think it's fake is simply because of one of the ending lines. Because either says he loved the beginning part, loved the end part, remembering. But he says he heard many Japanese citizens spoke to them, welcoming them. I know a lot of Japanese people know English.
Yeah.
And probably around wherever East Prayer Park is, might know a little bit more. But saying that in the beginning, hey, we didn't know Japanese. And then to have later have a bunch of Japanese people talk to them, sharing stories.
I mean,
kind of is the part that I don't believe.
So Okinawa is a very tourist-heavy area. So I can honestly believe that just because of the simple fact when you're in the cities like Okinawa, Tokyo, Nagasaki, and all that, they're gonna have people. A lot more Japanese people are gonna be able to speak English in those areas due to the tourist population. So I can see a bunch of Japanese being able to speak English and communicate with them.
Makes sense.
Yeah, because like once you start going out into like the not the suburbs, the rural areas, you're gonna see a lot less English speaking Japanese. They're gonna be a lot farther and few between. I'm also gonna see a lot more racism.
Yeah, obviously. That's a simple fact of all reality.
Yeah. But this one, you know, because a lot of Japanese lore or stories are kind of based off of truth to some extent. Just time has kind of stretched it out to be something completely like this seems fake. I'm gonna have to say this may be true.
Yeah, well, in my personal opinion, the story of the tale that Mama San tells
Yeah.
could be the real part. Everything else could be the fake part. That's the only thing in my opinion.
Whether he saw anything or not is hard to tell, mainly because one, he was a child. Child's imagination is god tier.
Man.
Tell them you can do, like her telling that story could have made it where that child could see the spirit doing that. You know, that would make it where we can't tell if it's real or not. But I'm gonna have to go with, yeah, though this probably is happening.
Yeah, probably.
So,
Anyway, should I read another story or
yeah, I would.
okay?
We're actually gonna go more than 2 hours today.
I'll stick with the shorter one this time. Got a entire like 30 to 40 minute song the single story. So, title of this one is I think my childhood home was haunted.
Okay.
When I was a child, I was always afraid of my house because of things that happened in it. There used to be scratching in the closet, and I know it wasn't rats because one day it had disappeared, and when it did happen, it was always in the dark. When I would sleep sometimes, I would wake up at the other end of the bed and heard whispers in the dark and see shadows. My mom told
Sorry, I couldn't help it. I couldn't keep it. I couldn't keep quiet long enough.
it's fine. Unless we come across an actual serious story, and by serious I mean like serious. It's fine that we're laughing during this, in my opinion.
Oh no, no, I mean me messing with you, trying to get you to laugh.
Okay. Apparently, there's a new game in the podcast. Derby trying to get Sarah to laugh.
And I'm winning.
Yes, apparently. Okay, back to story. My mom told me I used to ask why people were standing in front of me when there was no one there. The basement was the creepiest part because if you were down there too long, you felt as though you were being watched. My family said sometimes they heard footsteps down there. Sorry if this was a pain to read. I'm not very good at writing. I don't think it was a pain to read.
So that's it.
Yeah, that's all that story is.
You know what? I'm gonna go with the parrots. The house is settling. No, I'm joking. I actually been through it. I've experienced stuff like that before.
Yeah.
I found, although the scratching, we did find out it was a hamster doing that. That's how we had a hamster growing up, and it used to escape.
So, in my personal opinion, everything except for the scratching seems like it could be a ghost.
Oh, definitely. I mean,
The
even the
scratching
scratch
does just
could.
seem like it could be a rat.
Yeah, it could be a mouse. It's like mice are very attuned to their surrounding, and you moving can spook it to hide. Like, so that could be. But I've also experienced the scratching where it wasn't a mouse or an animal. And that was only because it was like in the middle of the door. And that would have to be one really big mouse or rat.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd definitely say that house was haunted.
Yeah, even me as a skeptic seems to say, yeah, it seems like haunted.
Yeah, it like footsteps. Like, I guess you could say the footsteps were maybe the house settling, but even then, nah. A house settling doesn't sound like that. The whole house would creak when the house settles.
Yeah.
Not just certain rooms. What were some of the other stuff?
So, specifically, the OP said that they'd asked their mom who the people were that were standing in front of them, and no one was there.
Okay.
And obviously, if I remember correctly, you said that sometimes kids can both make stuff up and also can be a little more attuned.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, children tend to be a little bit more attuned to spiritual stuff and lose that attunement as they get older, just be mainly because, one, that kind of stuff just scares kids, let's be honest. And so they just try to mentally block it out of their mind. I'm definitely gonna have to go with, yeah, that house is haunted. Because for that child to do that out of nowhere wouldn't be made up at that point. Like, if the child heard a story right before then and then saw that, maybe then that would be the imagination. But just to be sitting there and then suddenly, hey, there's these people in front of me. Who are they? Yeah, that's definitely apparitions.
And then just another story that even if we wanted to take
Yeah.
a bad break, I want to read this one first. It's specifically in the comments of this one. It's the one that actually made me want to have this story and read it.
Yeah, do it. You got plenty of time.
I heard things in my attic this is a different commenter, not the original OP. I heard things in my attic all the time growing up. House was built in the 1760s.
That's an old house.
Yeah. In the middle of the 1800s, there was a family who had a disabled child. They locked her in the attic a lot.
Pretty normal. Pretty normal back then.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, very unfortunate. There were over 200 groups of hash marks. And that's the amount they got to when they stopped counting the groups. They say. And they say specifically, they stopped counting them because they felt weird about counting them at that point.
So wait, what were they counting again?
Like hash marks, you know how people can mark like 1 line, 2 line, 3 line, 4 line, then the cross to make it 5.
Yeah.
That's what a hash mark is, as far as I understand. So basically, what is being heavily implied here is that the disabled child was making hash marks on the walls, saying how long they were up there.
Oh, wow. That is, wow.
Yeah. I'm like, that. The sounds in the attic fully seem like it's a residual energy of a child trapped in their attic.
I agree. That would be some very strong negative energy. especially depending on the type of disability the child has. If it's like a mental disability, the child ain't gonna know why they're up there, why their family doesn't want to be around them, which is gonna cause a lot of negative emotions. So yeah, I would definitely say that attic is haunted.
And then, like, the final thing the commenter says, it may have even been like the house, or at least the land they lived on, may have even been a stop on the Underground Railroad before reaching Canada. We found an unusual trap door that was just a 4x4 pit off from the main basement and coal storage room, but we couldn't find anything about that.
Okay, yeah, that is either that or as an alcohol storage cellar. Because one of the common places that they would store alcohol is in like little hatches like that.
Yeah, but they also said they had a cool storage room.
Yeah, but it was that part of the original building?
They don't say. That was the end of their comment. They never replied on it.
That one's definitely an odd one, but yeah, no, definitely haunted upstairs.
Yeah.
In the attic. I definitely feel bad for that child, because, like, oh my god. To have to live like that?
Yeah, definitely.
Couldn't dream living like that. Like, wow. But how, I'm curious on how they knew his child was disabled.
Well, probably there was some.
Because documentation from that era isn't exactly good.
Yeah.
What they thought was... It's weird, but interesting at the same time. Because I could see him locking a child in an attic back then for having some type of mental disability.
Yeah.
So, I think this will... Yeah, we'll take an ad break here. And I will be right back. So...
Okay.
So we'll do a 3-minute ad break, and then we'll continue on. We'll do the Hobo's Restaurant and Lounge next. All right, so I'll see you guys soon, all right? Love you all. I'm going to go use the bathroom.
Okay. Yes. Scream for us, Spartan.
Okay, I am the back.
Hello, the back. Yep, supposedly it has ended.
Yep, I timed it perfectly. Da, 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 da. Welcome back, everybody.
Yes. Welcome back.
All right. So, which one are we doing now? Hobo.
Yes.
We're doing the hobo. All right. So, this next place is called Hobo's Restaurant and Lounge. Wow, that is a mouthful for a name, though. I would have just stuck
Yeah.
with Hobo's Restaurant or Hobo's Lounge. Both would work.
Yeah.
Now, this is located in the Old Town district of Portland, which also means it's connected to the Shanghai tunnels.
Yet again.
Da da da! But it is located on Northwest 3rd Avenue. And there's a lot of history behind it. The building dates back to the late 1800s and has changed a lot. It went from being a hotel to a bar and restaurant. Whole lot of things. And I mean, look at just from the hauntings that they've got. They've got like 4 main things that go on over there. You got, this actually kind of like the witch thing that you were doing. The one with the witch.
The
We got
Witch story.
Yeah, no. This one, they've, instead of the white witch story, no, this one, they've got the lady in white. And she is one of the more popular spirits that have been seen wandering the hallways and dining area, flowing in a white gown. People have described her being calm, but yet melancholic.
Ah.
Yeah, it's like she's searching for somebody or something. And there are speculations that she might be tied to the Shanghai tunnels. But no one has any information on her past.
Maybe it was her wedding day and she was kidnapped into the Shanghai tunnels.
The Shanghai tunnels actually mostly targeted men.
Ah.
Yeah.
Maybe it was wedding day and she was chasing after her husband, who was kidnapped.
That could be a possibility. Now, while the restaurant is empty, the employees have reported hearing sounds, strange noises, disembodied footsteps echoing through the halls, whispers seeming to come from nowhere. Even doors, the sounds of like doors slamming shut when the door's already closed. Like, okay, that one right there would scare the crap out of me if I heard a door slam, but the door was already closed to begin with.
Huh.
Like, wow. And a lot of these sounds apparently happen in the basement, which is connected to the Shanghai tunnels. Now,
Yeah, the Shanghai tunnels seem to have a very spooky aura to
They-
anywhere they're connected to the basement.
oh yeah. Yeah, no, this place also has poltergeist activity like the Kells. Was it Kells? Yeah. Just like Kells. People's glasses have been seen sliding across the bar. Chairs shifting without anybody near them. And lights flickering mysteriously when they shouldn't be flickering. And these have actually scared patrons out of the building when they happen while they're during their visit there. Like, me personally, I wouldn't be scared of them that.
Yeah, I don't think I'd be scared out of the building. I would still find it creepy, but not leave the building creepy.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, in the basement, that one may make me leave, to be honest. Like the basement, they're connected to the Shanghai tunnels. You don't have access to the Shanghai tunnels from there either, just so you guys know. The Shanghai tunnels is fully closed off, with a small exception of small areas that are not closed off due to the owners of the building did not want them closed off for tourist reasons. But even then, those areas are very limited of where you can go. This one, you don't have access to the Shanghai tunnel from this one. People have pretty much reported extremely cold spots. Like, you'll be in one area and it's like, oh, what's the average temperature of a basement? I want to say it's like 63, 68.
Yeah, probably.
And they'll enter into an area and it suddenly drops down to 40. Like, that is abnormal. When they experience these cold spots, they have this feeling of being watched. Also, it's like, ooh, that makes it even worse. They're like, ooh, is somebody watching me while I'm freezing? Ooh. While walking through, people have reported shadowy figures darting through dimly lit spaces. And it's like, now that could be the trick of the eye, or could actually be shadowy figures just darting through dimly lit areas. We won't know unless we actually go there. You know what? I kind of want to go there now to figure that out.
You want to go to every one of these places.
You blame me? They're haunted. I mean, yeah, no, it's like the history with this was one of the areas where people would go to this area and never return home. That is its history. People were kidnapped from this location, and then they were taken into the Shanghai tunnels, and then were forced to work on ships with zero experience of working on a ship. And that's mainly what people did in the Shanghai tunnels. When it comes to the Shanghai tunnels, they would kidnap people and then enslave, or, well, I guess it'd be indentured servitude them on ships. They'll have, some of them will have no experience, and they'll be forced into being sailors. And if you were found injured or you're not able to perform the jobs properly, you weren't coming back home alive. They'd find you down the river. So, I mean, shoot. I want to go into the Shanghai tunnels. I don't care how dangerous it is. I just got to figure out how.
Yeah.
I mean,
imagine you could get a permit to explore down there, possibly.
Nope.
Really?
It is closed off. Like, sealed, closed off. In the areas where you do have access to, it's only a small, tiny section. Like, you just walk into the Shanghai tunnel and that's it. Nothing else. Breaking and entering. Yeah, that sounds good to me too. Although, would it be breaking and entering?
It might not be breaking and entering. I imagine if they found you, they may charge you with trespassing.
True. I mean, it would have to be breaking and entering because the only easy way to get in is you have to break into a one of the buildings that it's connected to, and they've got a little opening that you can go into to get into the Shanghai tunnels. And they keep a skeleton, a giant, they keep a 7-foot skeleton down there. And they dress it up. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, and then they dress it up for, like, the holidays. And they draw straws on who's gonna go and change the outfit of the skeleton.
Obviously.
Yeah, because no one wants to do it. But yeah, it's like you gotta crawl down the ladder. And it'll take you right into the Shanghai tunnels. It's pretty, it's pretty cool. I got to see it. I just can't remember. I gotta.
I was gonna say. Oh, by the way, we as streamers and as podcasters do not condone committing crimes.
Sure, let's go with that.
Yeah. And don't commit crimes, people.
Yes, don't commit crimes. Don't break into dangerous places.
Man.
Okay? Totally wasn't winking while saying that. Not as much as I thought there was going to be for reading activity on this one. So if you want to continue on, because this one's pretty much done.
I figure I could read a couple more stories.
Yeah!
We can end. I'll start with what is technically a longer one.
Yay, I passed.
This is called The Scarred Woman of the Girls' Restroom. So this story is half mine, and the other one is only the story of what happened going around.
Around what?
I think it's the rest of the stories that people say about the bathroom ghost.
Bathroom ghost. Okay, I'm ready.
Their story. One day, in the girls' restroom, a girl and her gay friend were freshening up when the friend littered. Now, I have to ask, is it the lesbian or, like, a guy that's for some reason in the girls' bathroom?
Who knows? What year was this happen? Because
That's list.
That's what it comes down to.
Man. After the friend littered, suddenly a scary woman with a scarred face appeared and became furious. The incident was reported to the school administration, and the story spread among the students. The guard even recounted the incident, and they burned incense in the restroom that night to appease her.
Okay, how would you know what? I don't want to know.
It's the same reason, like, sages burn in places.
Yeah, but that wouldn't appease them. That would get rid of them.
Yeah. Oh no. Now it's on to the actual Peas story. Okay, there seems to be a continuation. No. Okay, no, it's just that we posted a story here before.
Oh, okay.
They say that they have frequently encountered ghosts. That's the story and all that. This happened during my second year in college. But I sensed something scary about that restroom from the moment I first enrolled. I can't quite describe the feeling, a heavy sense of dread whenever entering, so I rarely used it. Though, the other two restrooms also had a strange atmosphere, albeit less intense. One day, or perhaps a week later, to what?
What?
They said one day, or perhaps a week later. I'm like, that's a sign that this seems like a real story because the person just kind of didn't really try to make it as solid as possible.
So you think this one's real? Is there anything else? Like, or did it just
No.
end there?
There is more. I'm just saying
Oh.
that they don't state what the one day or perhaps a week later was from. One day, we were waiting for our next class. I decided to sit in the corridor while my classmates were either absent or searching for a variable classroom because ours was occupied. The corridor is right next to that bathroom, aka the one with the scarred woman.
Okay.
And fearing I'd miss my class if they found a room, I decided to use the bathroom. As I put one foot in the doorway, I saw her face, completely scarred. I saw her in the window. I immediately ran out. Next to the restroom is an open basketball court. You might think it was a prank, but the window is on the outside, overlooking the open court. If someone had been playing a trick, I would have seen them running away near the restroom window, but there was no one. This was during class time, so few students were around. This is the information that they list at the bottom. Of course, as usual, I didn't tell anyone. People often dismiss ghosts as non-existent, and I understand that, so I kept quiet. However, I have confirmation of what I saw. I don't usually bring up the topic, but it eventually comes up in conversation, and people's descriptions often match what I have seen. Someone who owns a business near the school mentioned a what? That's a word?
What is it?
Someone who owns a business near the school mentioned a janitoress. I thought janitor was a gender neutral term.
I thought so too.
Yeah. This owner near school mentioned that janitoress who died in a fire there. But my classmate also recounted the incident in the restroom, sharing that information with us.
Is it really hard to read?
Kind of. Also, I need water because my throat is becoming parched.
Parched through.
Like,
Sarah.
like the only reason this seems like it's made up slightly to me. Of course, I also don't know how some other colleges work. But why would they need to find another classroom for their class? Usually classes have set rooms.
Well, it depends. Is it college?
Yeah. college?
It kind of depends on the size of the school, to be honest.
Yeah. I went to a moderately sized school, so
'Cause I know smaller colleges, classes rooms may change.
yeah, that would be so annoying as an actual student there to be like, oh yeah, our classroom was taken up, so you just have to hope we put up a note somewhere to tell you where the new room is.
It'd be more like multiple classes using the same room, just at different times.
Yeah.
It's the only thing I can think of for that.
Like it was just very much I understand that classes use them at different times. Like, why were you looking for another classroom? It was obvious that you also weren't. Your class hadn't started yet. Anyway, yeah. Obviously, that is what sort of haunting do you think that was?
Well,
If it wasn't.
is the spirit able to leave the room?
Well, it seems like the spirit is both in the room and slightly outside the room because the person described the face in the window instead of in the room. But the other story described the ghost in the room.
So, it's tied to a certain area. It's not it could be a mix of residual, but I don't think it's residual. It seems intelligent. Because it shows itself when people are around. But then again, now when they were the first time they were in the bathroom, it wasn't there right away, right? Like they were in the bathroom for a little bit.
Oh, so the story that is someone else's, not the OP's, is that it wasn't there immediately. But OP's story was that when they entered, they instantly saw the ghost. Though also the other person's story makes complete sense of why the ghost got annoyed from the additional information of a janitoress died and is the ghost.
Yeah. All right. I'm trying to think. I'm not really sure. Also, them going janitoress is, I don't know what's the deal with that, because janitor is a gender neutral word.
Yeah, I looked it up and janitoress is a word, but it's also a word that said it was used in the 1880s to 90s.
Weird. Okay, well, I don't know. Chat, what do you guys think? Whoever's there. I mean, I don't think it's residual haunting, because it does seem somewhat intelligent, because it responds to people nearby. Because it targets them, right?
Seemingly.
Seems like it targets them, and it's tied down to an area. Got ghosted here. I'm not a ghost expert. I just live here. You know what? That's a fair response. Yeah, I'm gonna have to say this is an intellectual haunting. With restricted movement. Like, it's not able to explore or chase.
Yeah. Like, my comment on the story is very much, weirdly, it seems both real and fake. But the reason I say it seems both real and fake is because the other people's story seems like the one that could be the real story, while the OP story seems like it could be the fake one piggybacking on the real one.
Mm-hmm. So this one had another story tied to it, or?
So, the person says that there's the story of the first sighting of the ghost, which was a girl and her gay friend
Okay.
were in the girl's restroom. And a scarred woman came up and was furious that one of them littered.
Okay.
And the story spread
Which
around
is
the school.
a janitor would get upset over.
Yeah.
Like,
the story spread around the school, and then there was incense burn. That seems like a very real
yeah.
story that could have happened.
Yeah.
Hers seems like it is very much from also the statement of, if you've checked out my previous posts, I encounter ghosts frequently. Seems like she's either a very, very attuned ghost person, or she made this up.
Yeah. Like, I'm attuned to the supernatural, and I don't run into that many ghost stuff. And it's usually just weird shit like, why? Why are you doing this type of shit? Leave me alone. But then again, I'm also kind of used to it.
Yeah, they have one other post, apparently.
Let's do it. What does it say? Is it any good?
Well, I haven't even read it or any. I haven't.
We can
screened it.
Okay. We can use that post and determine whether this stuff is real or fake. How about that?
Yeah, because very much this, at least from the title itself, seems like it could be a barometer for, is this person trying to
Bullshit us.
bullshit us? Yeah.
Okay, so what is the title of it?
Dream or experience. That dream, question mark, or experience, ellipses.
Okay, yeah, let's.
And then I haven't finished it because it's a little confusing to read.
Well, apparently this person's clearly not good at writing to begin with.
Yeah. Like it says, like the rest of it says, that make me want to completely don't want to see ghosts. It's like, yeah, you're not good at writing. So that may be a factor in either column.
That could be a factor. It's, sorry, that the grammar just. Okay, go on.
So they give background, specifically for at least them.
Okay.
Not for the story in particular. They say, I started seeing things around 6 years old or younger, but my mom kept telling me, nah, you're just seeing things.
Common.
I'm not a brave kid. Yeah. OP is not a brave kid when it comes to topics of ghosts, but since my mom told me that I was only seeing things, I ignored them to the point that I convinced myself, see, there's nothing here. Each time I saw something, I approached that location and convinced myself ghosts aren't real. But that changes when we temporarily stay in our cousin's relative's home. Just a little convoluted.
Yeah.
The owners are already living overseas and the house is on sale. Yeah, this person is definitely not a good writer.
Yeah, definitely not, but that's fine.
I just barely got there, and I saw. Okay, I'm just gonna autocorrect this in my brain so that I don't
Yeah, just
sound like I'm having a stroke.
yeah. Just
I
autocorrect it
just
in your
barely
brain.
got there and saw a white lady for the first time.
Okay.
I
Is it
froze in surprise, and when I was able to move, I ran off. That sounds incredibly like the person just said, I saw a white lady for the first time and I had to run off. Like
I'm
a
sorry.
white woman.
I'm sorry, that's kind of funny though, to be honest. Let's be honest here. That's kind of funny.
Yeah. When obviously they mean like a lady in white.
We could even got a theme going on tonight.
Yeah, apparently the Reddit stories are women in white. Even though there's also been ones that don't contain it. Just if we have a theme in them, it's women in white. Oh, also the one place that the lady in the white flowing gown.
Yeah.
Let's actually find the place I was. Okay, of course I told them what I saw, freaking out. And I was freaking out, but they ignored me. After that,
Okay.
okay, I've got to read this part before I even read it because I don't understand it from sight reading it at first. After that, as I went through school and through the rest of my life, I kept seeing ghosts. The feeling, to be honest, is unique. It's like you are just minding your own business. Suddenly, you feel the urge to look somewhere, and then you get scared as if a jump scare, seeing what you had to look at.
Okay.
Yeah, this is incredibly. You should be glad you're not reading this.
I wouldn't be able to function by the end of it.
Because here, I'll actually read the part that I had to stop. How it was written exactly.
So I think
And
we
I'm
should
so
just
slightly.
I think we should stop.
Yeah, legitimately. I'm
Y-
just gonna
it-
read it why it was
It
so
sounds
hard to read.
it sounds like you're losing brain cells trying to read this.
Yeah. The actual way it was written was after that, from schools, high school, and college, and our house, which was renovated at that point, I kept seeing ghosts.
Yeah, so we're just gonna stop right there with that story. I'm gonna have to lean towards it's most likely fake. To be honest.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, I read down to the actual story that was all that background was given for. It doesn't read as anything besides possibly a fake story.
I'm gonna have to go. I'm gonna have to go with this is most likely fake. To be honest, most likely the other story that they did is also fake. There's a pretty high chance of that. First one I can see being real because
Yeah,
they went over how they handled the situation also, which most stories wouldn't do.
and nothing. Yeah, partially against the original writer. The first part where they talked about the girl and her gay friend was actually written way better than any other part of the story.
Yeah,
Like she was summarizing something else.
like that part could be true.
Like I feel sort of bad for like calling the person out for that, but I was just like, if you're
Bad.
trying to make fake stories or even real stories and post them, try to make it so that people can read them actually.
Yeah, you'd think, but some people struggle with writing stuff.
Yes.
I know I do. How many times do I misspell stuff all the time?
Frequently.
And I completed high school.
I misspell stuff some of the time. I completed college. Only to the associate's level, but yeah.
So, oh, got any more stories you want to tell, or do we? We're. You know what? Because I don't want them to go through another ad break. 'Cause ad breaks suck. Be honest.
Yeah, I very much figured we could end here.
Yeah. Let's end here, guys. So we're gonna be going back onto normal schedule for Ghostly Gossips, which is gonna be every other Saturday. Now we are gonna be starting. We're gonna be doing episode 4 next Saturday, though, and then doing every other Saturday from then on. So I hope to see you guys then on Saturday. I'm saying Saturday a lot, aren't I?
Yes, Saturday.
Just remember, Saturday. Otherwise, you guys can find me in Discord. We can talk about all the spooky stuff you want in Discord, or we can just chill and stream later tonight. I hope to see you guys tonight, though. I love you all. Have a good night. Bye. You want to say anything?
Bye.
No. You gotta say something.
Baba Booey?